Hello, Emily. Hello, can you hear me? Hey, Emily, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. No, okay, so it's good now. I can hear you too. Do you want to test your camera? Hello?
I'd like to keep my camera off for now.
Oh, you mean you want to keep it off for the whole seminar? Oh, I see. I thought you were Emily Lee. Okay, never mind. Hey, Emily.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, good. Okay, I'm letting people in. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So you can test your screen sharing in the meantime.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. So yeah, we're starting in a minute. All right. Good. Screen sharing works. Okay, so Emily, you're good to start? All right, so I'll give a quick intro and then we'll get this one started. Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we're gonna do a quick info session for the new French debate program at LingT. So the speaker for this info session or seminar is Emily Lee. So Emily is a first-year student in the dual BA program at Columbia University and Science Pole. She has 4 years of debate experience representing Team Canada for WSDC 2021. She was also a two-time national finalist in 2020 and 2021, and has won the French national championships in 2020. She also placed second at the individual debating and public speaking world championship in 2020 and 2021. All right, Emily, she's from BC, Vancouver. And as I mentioned, she was part of Team Canada, won the French debate national champions last year. All right, so without further ado, let me turn the microphone to Emily. It's all yours, Emily. Thanks.
Thanks, Henry. Thank you for that very nice introduction. So what we'll be doing today, can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Perfect. So what we're going to be doing today is just a little bit of an overview of what the French debate program at Linked Key will look like. So at any time, if you have any questions, feel free to just interrupt me or message in the chat, and I'll try and respond as soon as I can. So here's a little overview of the three main aspects I'll be covering. First, what is French debate? What's the difference between French debate and regular debate? Second, what are the benefits of French debate? What does it have that's unique to offer? And finally, what are the opportunities for competing in French debate? So a little bit of an overview of what sorts of tournaments you can attend and things like that. All right, so first, what is French debate? So I'm going to be focusing on what French debate is in Canada. Obviously, there's not too much interest in going to France to debate at this moment, given COVID. So this is going to be Canada focused. And since I competed in BC, unfortunately, I have a little bit more knowledge about the BC side of things than I do about Ontario, but I'll still try and cover it to the best of my ability. So the first thing to note is, what is French debate? What's the difference between French debate and English debate? Oh, there we go. So as hopefully most of you know already, debate is a competitive speech activity that helps students gain confidence in their public speaking, supplements their academic learning, and fosters teamwork. So French debate is, in essence, at its base, just debate in French. It just has a different language in the way that it's conducted, but all the benefits that you get, learning how to speak confidently, learning how to articulate an argument, writing and researching skills, all of those things remain the same. The difference, though, lies in the extra experience of gaining fluency in another language. I know for me personally, when I first started French debate, I wasn't super confident speaking in French. I didn't have that much experience in terms of making speeches in French or public speaking in French. And doing French debate really helped me boost my French level, and also had the added benefit of transferring those benefits over into the classroom. So that's the main difference between French debate and debate. In essence, they all have the same components of writing speeches, delivering those speeches, researching, and gaining all of those academic benefits. But the main difference is just, simply put, it's in French instead of English. All right, so the second difference that I want to go over, it's a little bit more technical, but French debate does follow a different format from the formats that you're probably used to in terms of English debate. So in English debate at Linked Key, you might be familiar with formats like World School Style, Canadian National Debate Format, British Parliamentary. But in French debate, they have a standardized format that is essentially the equivalent of Canadian National Debate Format, which is Le Format du Débat National Canadien, FDNC. FDNC, as you can see, has the same letters as CNDF. It's in essence the exact same structure, but the only difference is in speaking time. This may or also may not differ from what you're used to in terms of speaking time, depending on which province you come from or whether you're junior or senior, but these should be in around the same ballpark. Do you need to have some sort of experience in speaking French? I'll get to that a little bit later, so just hang on for 1 second. So in terms of the format, again, quite technical, but the only difference is that you can see that there's 7-minute speeches for the 4 first speeches, and then the last 2 speeches are 3 minutes. That's, in essence, really the only major difference between the styles of debate that you might be used to. Okay, what are the benefits of French debate? So how can debating in French help students? So there are 4 things that I want to highlight today. The first is French fluency. As I mentioned before, it gives students the experience of constructing speeches and becoming more confident in their second, maybe third, or even fourth language. And it's also been, in my experience, an extremely helpful perk when it comes to university applications, when it comes to academic opportunities, when it comes to professional development as well. I know in many of the internships and the jobs I've applied for, having fluency in French has really benefited me. And I'm also currently in a dual BA that's situated in France. So there's lots of benefits that come with French fluency. The second is academics. Evidently, through preparation for tournaments and daily practice, debaters are able to learn about a wide variety of things. And that was very helpful to me, especially as a debater. Can everyone hear me still? Is my connection unstable? Can everyone hear me? Yes, okay, perfect. Third is just confidence. So confidence, probably the most important thing you need in debate. And again, it transfers over into the classroom. So being able to be more confident when you're giving French presentations or doing well on your French speeches if you have oral assessments in class, that's one of the biggest benefits, I think, of French debate for sure. And finally, teamwork. Obviously, as we know, debate is a team sport at its core. You can collaborate with students that you might not be too familiar with, and you also have the opportunity to meet students from all over Canada at these debate tournaments. Okay, what are the opportunities to compete in French debate? So before I get onto the next slide, I'll address the question regarding experience in speaking French. So I do believe there will be a syllabus distributed at some point, and as is indicated on the syllabus, ideally you want 3 to 4 years of some sort of French learning to the point where you can be comfortable speaking, having a sustained conversation with a native French speaker for about, let's say, 5 minutes. If you're looking at the DELF measurement of language fluency, you want to be about a B2. So a B2 on the DELF is probably the experience you want to be at for the minimum in order for you to really be able to debate in French. Because unfortunately, if you go into French debate looking to learn French, that's probably not the right fit for you, just because you do have to have some amount of fluency in order to construct a speech and in order to debate. So I hope that answers the question. I would say 3 to 4 years. You don't have to have those 3 to 4 years in French immersion specifically. If you're taking advanced courses or accelerated courses, that works well. And ultimately, every student learns differently. So if you measure yourself around a B2 DELF level, I would say that's a pretty good estimate. I'll just send that into the chat. So if you would like to see the sort of resources that DELF puts up on their website, what a B2 entails, that's a good frame of reference. All right, so what are the opportunities to compete in French debate? So tournament opportunities vary a little bit from region to region and province to province. So for example, in Ontario, actually, there are no regional tournaments and you go straight to provincial championships, which are actually bilingual and not fully in French. That was the same for BC until about 2 years ago, when they got rid of the bilingual provincials and instead did a full French qualifier. So the problem with French debating opportunities is that it's not super standardized across provinces. So with Ontario, obviously, since I'm not an Ontario debater, it's not my area of expertise. But from what I understand, there's no regional tournaments. There's just a bilingual qualifier, and then you qualify directly to the French National Debating Championships. Typically at nationals for French, you'll only have a handful of provinces. So for example, it's typically BC that goes, Ontario that goes, Quebec that goes, and then sometimes you have Manitoba or Alberta. So it's a lot less densely populated, I think, in my opinion at least, than the English debating sphere. So if you're looking for a smaller tournament opportunity, this is probably a good opportunity for you. And for BC at least, we had some preliminary regional tournaments, qualifiers, and then we would go to provincials. And then from provincials, go to nationals. So those are the sorts of opportunities that are open currently in French debate, although of course that might expand as time goes on and more open tournaments start to be created. All right, so the main differences between English and French tournaments, I would say, is probably the smaller tournament sizes. So as I mentioned before, French debate is actually much less competitive than English debate, simply because of the lack of people who join French debate. So unfortunately, Canada isn't super bilingual when it comes to debating or public speaking. So tournaments tend to be less competitive and also much smaller. So if you're looking for a good way to get national or provincial exposure, I would really recommend trying out French debate. And secondly, tournament advancement is often a little bit easier than in English debate, at least, because of the smaller tournament sizes. So say having 12 people at regionals versus having 80 people at English regionals, just statistically speaking, it's less competitive in that regard. All right, so that's the end of my little presentation. I hope that answered some of your questions, but I'm sure that you probably have many more. So I'm open to any questions or concerns.
Oh, thank you, Emily. I muted myself anyway. Okay, so there are a couple questions in the chat. I think you responded them, right?
Yeah, I only see the one question, but if there's more,
There's only one. Yeah, there's a one. Yeah. Do you have to have experience in public in speaking French? Yeah. All right. Do we have any other questions? Just feel free. You can type your question in the chat, or maybe you turn on your microphone. Yep, there's one more. Will the class be in French or English? All right, Emily.
Yeah, so classes will be in French, as this is a French debate style. But of course, assessing students' abilities, if it's clear that something might be translated a little bit better in English, it depends on the student and what sort of material we're teaching, right? So there are some, for example, instances of vocabulary. Weighing is difficult to translate into French. Peser quelque chose doesn't really convey the same thing as the word weighing does in English debate. So in instances like that, we might introduce the concept in English and then switch over back to French, but mostly French, yeah.
Yeah, just to add, a quick point to the previous question, right? For in terms of how do we structure the French debate at Linky? As you all know, because this is the first time we set up a French program. It's probably we are the first to set up a French program in Ontario across all the enrichment institutions, right? So we only set up for one class just to start with, right? For that reason, this class, there's a prerequisite, right, for the student to enroll in this class, which is, I think Emily already mentioned, you need to have, your French fluency needs to be there. Also, your debating experience needs to be there as well, right? But going forward, as we grow this French debate program, I can see, there's a chance that we set up multiple levels for the French debate classes. So we may have a level 1 or level 2 or level 3 going forward, right? In that case, obviously you will still need to have your French frequency there. But in terms of your debating experience, you may not need to have certain debating experience in order to join the French program, French debate program. But that's for going forward, not for now. All right, so let's come back to the questions. Okay, there's a question from Zheng Hong. I think we lost Emily. She got disconnected. Yeah, that's fine. She should be back. Okay, the question is, are majority of students did French immersion? Doesn't have to be. It doesn't need to be in French immersion. So yeah, Emily, the question is, are the majority of students did French immersion? My response would be, it doesn't need to be, right? So we don't look at which French program you come from. So we only look at your French fluency, right? So whether you're French immersion or core French or extended French, as long as you speak fluent French, you should be fine.
Yeah. Hi, sorry, my internet just cut out and
Yeah,
just
that's okay. We figured it out.
okay, lovely. Yeah. So I would say definitely same as Henry. It doesn't really matter what type of French learning you have. It's more about your fluency level. So for example, myself, I did French immersion in elementary school, but I only did normal French classes in high school. So it really just depends on your level of fluency and not necessarily what sort of class you're enrolled in.
Yep. So there's a question from Shin. How often do French debate tournament happens?
Yeah, so as for the frequency of French debate tournaments, they're a lot less frequent than English debate tournaments where you might have one every couple of months, or if you look online, there might be one a month or several a month. With French debate, it's really only the lead up to nationals. So in BC, for example, where we have regionals, it's typically regionals around, let's say, February, and then you might have provincials in March or April, and then you have nationals in May. So it's really in those winter to spring months that you have those 3 tournaments, or 2 tournaments in the case of Ontario. So you would really only have provincials and then nationals, at least to my knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Emily mentioned this one. I just want to bring this up one more time. If you see English debate as we call red ocean, so you basically can consider French debate a blue ocean, right? Which means much less competition there, right? So which means highly likely or more likely you will get awards than from the English program, English debate program. All right, so question from Sa. The details of the French debate course, like schedule, tuition fees, etc. All the details of the French debate course, you can find them in linkyonline.com, or I'll type the website URL, so you can find them online, right? We're gonna run the courses once a week, starting our spring semester. But for the detail, like the date and the time of the class, again, you can find them on the Linky portal website. All right, so I'll type the website for you to go review. A question from Emily: are the themes learned in French debate same as English debate?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? Are the themes?
Are the themes learned in French debate same as English debate?
I'm not too sure what you mean by that question.
I think what her question, maybe Emily, another Emily, she wants to ask the themes, meaning this is my interpretation, like the content. So Emily, maybe you can turn on your microphone and maybe elaborate your question a bit more.
Yeah, I meant like the lessons, the content.
Okay.
Yeah, so lessons and content wise, it'll be similar to what you'd get in a standard English debating class. Obviously, the focus first is developing your debate skills, right? So whether that's working on constructive, refutation, strategy, meta debating, content acquisition, all that sort of thing, it'll be similarly structured to how you do your English stuff, with the only added caveat that at the same time that you're learning new debate concepts or training those sorts of themes, you'll also be learning how to communicate them in French, if that makes sense. So at the same time, you'll be learning, progressing in skills, hopefully, but you'll also have to kind of go back to the basics, learn what refutation is called in French, learn how to signpost in French, and all of that sort of stuff. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, so question from Zheng Hong: How do we assess the French level for this debate program? I think there, maybe Emily, I'll take this question. I think there are two ways you can, assess your French level. Right? One way is by doing a tryout class. So, you can enroll a tryout class on Linky portal, right? The instructor, Emily, she will be able to assess your child's French level. And the other way to do the assessment is through the, we call diagnostic test. So we do have a diagnostic test for French. So you can ask the Linky, service people to send you the French test, right? You can do the test before you come to the class, or sign up for a trial class just to get your French level assessed. Okay, there's a question from Yue. Can I participate to the class if I live in Quebec? I think for sure. Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, everybody is welcome. I think you guys, if you live in Quebec, you have advantages, right? In terms of language proficiency. Ben has a question. You should do a poll in Zoom. Sorry, what do you mean, Ben? What kind of poll you're referring to? Okay, you can let us know by type more in the chat, and then we'll go while we go to the next question, which is from Arthur. What kind of French level need to begin French debate? Is that B2? Emily, can you take this one?
Yeah, for sure. I would recommend B2. I think at B1, you're probably a little bit below where you want to be in terms of fluency. I would say B2 is a good minimum for where you should be at in order to hold a proper French debate. I mean, if you want to challenge yourself, as Henry said, you can always sign up for a trial class, see how you do, watch some French debates online, see if you understand, and kind of assess yourself that way. But I would say B2 is a good place to be to start.
Yeah. There's a follow-up question from Arthur as well, whether the French debate is similar as BP. I think Emily touched upon on this one during her presentation. So, French debate is on a different format, but the format is more like a CNDF rather than BP, right?
Yeah, there's actually a slight difference in how Ontario does their bilingual qualifiers. So the bilingual format is different from the French national format, and that includes cross-examination, and the speeches are done in both English and French. But that's a little bit different from nationals, which is entirely done in French, and it's just CNDF with different speaking times.
Yeah. Question from Shane, is the class online? yes. The class, just for now, I think the class will be online. There are a couple of reasons. One is, everybody knows the pandemic is still here. The second reason is Emily currently lives in France. She's doing her dual program at in Paris, right? So until she comes back to Columbia, US, so everything will be, I mean, our French debate class will be online. Okay, Ben says, oh, this is a follow-up from the previous one, to do a poll about French immersion percentage. Yeah, I mean, we can do a poll, obviously. We can do a poll, in the class and see how many students are from the French immersion program. Lisa question, 中文写的哈，什么时候报名？有几个 level？ 什么时候比赛？ So the question is when to sign up, how many levels in the French debate program, and when would be the competition taking place. So 我用中文说了，因为你是用中文问的，我报名现在已经开始了，我刚刚把我们的那个课程管理网站叫 portal 啊，把它的链接已经敲在这个对话框里了。你可以如果你已经有 Linky 的这个 account， 你就可以直接 sign up 就可以 sign up 这个 French 班就可以。如果你没有 account， 你就需要先建一个 account 啊，也非常简单，基本上一个 email 就可以了。有几个 level， 刚才我也讲了，我们现在目前来看，就是因为我们刚刚开始嘛，所以我们只有一个 level。那这一个 level 呢，我们希望大家能有一定的这个法语的流量流利程度，同时要有一定的这个 debate 经验啊。那之后，随着我们的这个法语 debate 的 program 的这个壮大，我们可能会有不同的级别啊。那从现在第一次我们这个春季学期来讲，只有一个 level 啊。什么时候比赛 ？Emily 刚才也讲了 ，French debate 的比赛比英语 debate 要少，所以我们还要再去查一下这个 debate 的French debate 的时间啊。那应该是最近的一次，应该就是 Ontario Provincial 的这个 tournament 啊，但具体什么时间我们要查一下啊，应该是明年春季了，大概可能是3月份左右。Okay, well, there's a question from Lang Yi. Question in French. Emily, you have to read this one.
Yeah, so they asked, how do you know your French level? Comment savoir notre niveau de français? I think, Henry, you've touched on this before. First, attend a trial class, see if it's the right fit for you. Second, maybe see where you're at in terms of school. If you're taking core French versus if you're in French immersion, what sorts of grades you're getting, how comfortable you feel. And the third thing I would recommend is going online and using some practice DELF exams or practice exams to test yourself and see what level you're at, especially for the oral and the comprehension elements of the DELF. Not so much on the written side. In my experience, that's been a lot less important than being able to speak fluently. I hope that helps. And of course, Henry, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, we also have we have developed a diagnostic French test. So feel free to reach out to Linky admin people, and they can send you the test. Yeah, if you want to do that way. But to me, I think the easiest way to do is just to sign up the trial class, right? And Emily will be able to give you an assessment during the class. So that will be the easiest way to do. All right, so The next question. Hi, Emily. Were you in French immersion yourself? I think she was.
Yeah, so I did 8 years of French immersion from kindergarten to grade 7. So I did early French immersion. And then from high school onwards, so in BC, that's grade 8 to grade 12, I actually finished AP French in grade 11. And so I did grade 9 French when I was in grade 8, and then I did grade 11 French when I was in grade 9, grade 12 French when I was in grade 10, and then finally finished with AP French when I was in grade 12. So I did do French immersion, but I would say that even if you don't do French immersion and you're relatively advanced when it comes to speaking and you start in high school, that's also totally fine. There were students that I know in French debate that did not do French immersion in elementary school and still did fine in high school. So yeah, that's just my personal experience.
All right. Question from Lynn. Is Linky going to attend the upcoming Ontario Provincial French Debate Tournament? I think we are going to. However, there are some kind of limitations from the OSTU, which is Ontario Student Debate Union. They have some certain limitations to a enrichment institution like us. So which means I mean I don't want to go into too much details, but basically if you your day school, right, your full-time day school is a registered OSTU member, you will need to go attend the Ontario provincial tournament with your day school, right? If your day school is not a registered OSTU member, then you can go attend the tournament with us. So that's a short answer. But if you want to drill into more details, just feel free to reach out after this seminar, so we can get more details for you. All right, Arthur's question. Now I'm in grade 8 and about B1, B2. I already studied debate more than 1 year. Do you think it's better for me to begin now or after I reach strong B2? What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, I can't really answer with a concrete yes or no. I think it just depends on, your confidence, what you think your oral French skills are. What I would recommend is go and watch a French debate, maybe even one of Macron's speeches or a debate that they've been having in the lead up to the presidential elections. See how much you understand and see how comfortable you are with it. And then I think you have your answer. But ultimately, it's a personal choice more than something I can say yes or no to, especially since, unfortunately, I haven't heard you give a debate speech in French. So I'm not sure I can give a concrete answer.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is we mentioned you're always welcome to sign up for the trial class, right? Just give it a try and see whether there's a good fit for you, all right? Yeah, just to sign up the trial class. So that might be the best way to do it. All right, so Arthur also asked, I missed Emily's presentation. Is it possible to provide the video? We can share the slides with you. Just send us a message, whether it's by email or by portal message or by WeChat. Yeah, maybe give us a call and we can share the slides with you. All right. One more question. Hey, Emily, did you also go for English debate?
If I'm assuming, Louisa, you're asking about my English debate experience?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah, so I did do English debate as well. I was a member of Team Canada, and that was English debate exclusively. I was a 2-time national finalist and fourth place speaker in 2020 and national finalist again in 2021. I was also a finalist at the 2020 Harvard World Schools Championships with Team Canada, and I have about 4 to 5 years of competitive debate experience. So I was in English debate competitive in CNDF, BP, and Worlds. So I would say I did a lot of English debate. I did more English debate than I did French debate just because of the volume of tournaments. So I started off learning English debate and then I moved into French debate at around grade 10.
Yeah, yeah. I gave a very brief introduction about Emily's debate experience. She was the national champion for French debate. She was also part of Team Canada, right? As Emily mentioned, Team Canada is for English debate only. But she got some massive awards from both English debate and French debate. All right. Any more questions? All right. Okay. I think. Oh, there's one more. Even though you started French debate later in high school, has that still benefited you greatly?
Yeah, I actually think it was probably one of the best decisions I made in high school, of which there were not many very great decisions. No, I'm joking. But in terms of starting it late, I think honestly, it wasn't too much of a detriment just because I was able to build a good base in English before moving to French. But in terms of benefits, 100%. I think first is I'm a lot more confident in French orally because of debate. So it wasn't my school classes or group projects at school that helped me become more confident. It was really having to learn and think and speak on my feet in French at debate tournaments where I really progressed. So that's the first thing, is it improves your French fluency. And the second thing is that it also shaped my post-secondary plans. So I actually decided to go to Sciences Po Columbia because half of the program is in France, although it's not in French, and I wanted to, really master French here in France. So I think it has definitely benefited me greatly in terms of giving me a lot of opportunities, both academically in terms of extracurriculars and also professionally.
Yep. All right. Any other questions? Okay, so there's one more, and then we're gonna take this one as the last one. The question is from Diana. Did French learning help you in your academics as well?
Yeah, 100%. What I see often is that the benefits of English debate translate the same in French debate. So, for example, learning how to write an essay in English is greatly improved when you can learn how to structure an argument in debate in English. And that's the same for French debate as well. So, for example, getting more comfortable with writing timed essays because you're used to writing prep in debate rounds. Or, for example, if you have a class presentation in French, being more comfortable because you know how to improvise through French debate, right? So all these skills that you build normally from debate, those are also built in French debate and can be cross-applied to French class. And I think that's probably one of the best benefits that I experienced during my French academics in high school, was doing French debate.
Yep, for sure. Okay. Well, there's another one in Chinese. I'll take this one, and then we'll wrap this seminar up. Lisa 问我们的 French debate 课会不会有一些作业 reading 之类的啊？我们会有作业哈，也会有 reading。这个我们所有的 debate 课都会哈。那 French debate 课也是一样，好吗 ？OK。Yeah. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, Emily mentioned, French debate will, help you a lot in terms of, winning awards, mastering your French speaking skills. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you all at the beginning of the French debate program. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out, right? So there are many different ways you can get hold of us, right? Email, WeChat, telephone, or anything, right? Like portal message. Yeah, just feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. All right. Thank you again. And we're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, hope everyone have a wonderful Sunday and Merry Christmas. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Emily.
Am I good to go?
Yeah, we're good. We'll talk more about the class schedule. Yeah, but the seminar went well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. It was a pleasure. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, Emily.